Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's edition of the WHHI-TV Daily News. I'm Betsy McDaniel, and here are today's headlines. The parade of law enforcement officers who were at the scene of the murders of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh in June of 2021 continue to take the stand in Walterboro as prosecutors lay out their case against Alex Murdaugh. Much of their early testimony describes the crime scene in graphic detail and using body camera footage that was not shown to the courtroom audience. They're also describing Murdaugh's reaction to the happenings that night in 2021. Officers say he was dry-eyed by the time they arrived and was not covered in blood. Murdaugh told them he thought someone was seeking revenge for the 2019 boat crash that killed Mallory Beach. Prosecutors say that story is all part of a plan to cover up his involvement and his financial troubles. The defense continues to press that the crime scene was mishandled by investigators. Beaufort Police Chief Dale McDorman has been investigated and punished for contributing to a hostile work environment, according to the Island Packet and Beaufort Gazette. Their information says the investigation was launched after a complaint from a female police officer. The investigation cleared McDorman of any legal wrongdoing, but fined him 16 hours pay for a breakdown in communication and leadership. He was also ordered to develop plans to rectify those shortcomings. We keep quoting reports that show the housing market is cooling after the post-pandemic boom in late 2021 and 22, but Zillow shows that cooldown may not have hit here, as South Carolina has sold the most homes per 100,000 people of any state in the country so far in 2023. 77 sales per 100,000 of us, just a little more than Arizona, North Carolina, and Florida. Georgia was 10th on that list. Saturday's visit from former President Trump to the state capitol to announce his campaign team for the 2024 race will probably be more famous for who's not there than who is. Governor McMaster and Senator Lindsey Graham have committed to the gathering as early endorsers of Trump, as have a number of the state's congressional delegation. But Lowcountry Congresswoman Nancy Mace will not be there. She says she wants to see who all is running before offering an endorsement. She also said she'd like to see someone run who could win over independent voters. Also absent will be former governor and former Trump cabinet member Nikki Haley and Senator Tim Scott, who in the past has been a Trump supporter. Both Haley and Scott are still pondering entering the presidential race themselves. And speaking of Lowcountry Congresswoman Nancy Mace, she and her fellow South Carolina colleagues have introduced a bill in Congress that would prohibit the federal government from closing the Parris Island Recruit Depot. It's called the Parris Island Protection Act and would prohibit the use of federal funds to even plan for its closure, much less shut down the base. The legislation mirrors a bill filed in 2021 after reports that the military was considering consolidating bases to more easily train women alongside men. The media sources on your screen will have more on these and other stories, and we would love for you to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at WHHI-TV. And if you have an idea for a news story, we'd love to hear it, so drop us a line at news@WHHITV.com. And now here's Justin Jarrett with what happened last night in the Lowco.
It's time for Last Night in the Lowco on WHHI, powered by LowcoSports.com. It was a quiet Thursday night with just one basketball game on the local slate, and Hilton Head Christian Academy's boys kept their win streak going with a 69-56 win at Bethesda Academy in Savannah. Dirty Harry Skinner put up 17 points, Caden Turner had 15, and Isaiah Anderson scored 12 for HHCA. That's 12 in a row for the Eagles, who are now 18-2 and host John Paul II tonight. HHCA should have the edge in both games, but the JP2 girls have won 7 straight as they look to dethrone the 4-time defending state champion Eagles. That's one of 5 Lowco on Lowco matchups on tap Friday, including Battery Creek at Beaufort, which will air on WHHI all week, and we'll bring you all the scores and highlights on Monday's extended Last Night in the Lowco. Plus, you can always find more local sports news and analysis on the Lowco Sports Lowdown and Lowco Hoops Report podcasts on the Lowco Media Network. We also interview the athletes and coaches making headlines around the area and spotlight the standout players you need to know. Find all of our great local sports shows on the Lowco Media YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. For Lowco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
Thanks, Justin. And now let's take a look at that weather with Maria Soden.
Thanks, Betsy. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we're seeing a bit of rain this weekend, and then taking a look into next week, we should be seeing some nicer weather with higher temperatures and just some scattered showers here and there. Taking a look at Saturday, however, it's going to be sunny with Hilton having a high 55, a low of 38, Bluffton's going to have a high 57, a low of 34, and Beaufort's going to have a high 57 and a low of 36. Come Sunday, that's when we're going to see a lot of that rain coming through. It's going to be sunny in the morning, but then quickly turn to partly cloudy in the early afternoon. Then in the later afternoon, we're going to see scattered showers, and then in the evenings when we're going to see those heavy downpours coming through. Certain areas should be watching for any flood warnings. Temperature-wise, Hilton has going to have a high of 65, a low of 48. Bluffton's going to have a high of 67, a low of 44. And Beaufort's going to have a high of 67, a low of 44. The sunrise for this weekend is going to be at 7:20 and sunset's going to be at 5:52. Taking a look at the beach tides, Saturday, high tide is going to be at 9:31 a.m. and low tide is going to be at 2:28 p.m. And then Sunday, high tide is going to be at 10:31 a.m. and low tide is going to be at 3:18 p.m. Taking a look into next week, Monday we're going to see showers in the morning, but should clear by the early afternoon. Highs are going to be back up in the 60s and lows in the 50s. Come Tuesday, it's going to be cloudy, then we'll see some showers in the afternoon, which should clear by the evening again. Highs are going to be in the 60s, lows in the 50s. And then come Wednesday, it's going to be partly cloudy to sunny most of the day. Then we will see some afternoon showers, which should clear by the evening again. And the highs are going up into the 70s, and the lows are going to be in the 60s and 50s. That's it for today. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. And after a quick break, we're going to learn about a veteran who got a new roof, so stay with us.